My parents were always pretty open with like, hey, you can sample this beer if you want to. You know, they were never drinking anything too special. It was always like Miller Genuine Draft or like Extra Gold or Natty Ice, or drinking things and then switching up to like a Blue Moon and switching to like trying my first IPA. Just that progression of flavors was really interesting to me, and the people that made them were very interesting to me. Ted Rice was the head brewer when I first started working at Cumbre, and I'd talk to him every once in a while and ask him questions about the beer, even though I was 18 or 19 years old. I got to look through the glass window and watch the brewers working back there and just dealing with hoses, and there was steam everywhere, and I'd look back there and see just water buckets bubbling, and I had no idea what was going on, but I always thought it was very intriguing and I wanted to learn more. So I started asking them about it. I'd be like, hey, can I help you out back there in any way? Is there anything I can do? Like, I'll clean things, I'll lift things if you want. And the first thing he said to me was like, can you lift a full half-barrel keg? I was like, no, probably not. But I could try, I'll work towards it. And when he opened, I think the La Cumbre was open for about a month. I was sitting in the tap room, I asked for an application. I filled out the application. I think I accidentally set my beer down on the application, so there's a big beer ring stain on it, and he came down from his office and looked at it. He was impressed, I guess, that I was drinking a beer and filling out an application at the same time. He was like, okay, I'm gonna hire you as a bartender. Here's what you need for your bartending job. And he listed a bunch of things. I thought the interview was over. And then he switched to, okay, so now when you're working in the brewery with me, you're gonna need 8-inch high steel-toed boots that are slip resistant and electric shock resistant. And at that point I was just like, I get to work back here. I had no idea he was gonna hire me for both jobs. I was very surprised. My first day in the brewery was terrifying. I had no idea what I was walking into. I had no idea what I would be doing. I came in with my Carhartt pants on, like men's Carhartt jeans and big steel toe clunky boots. I thought I had everything that I needed, and I walked into the brewery and was just baffled. And I think the first thing that Jeff had me do is just start scrubbing floors. It's like, go clean this, go organize that desk, like don't hurt yourself on all these chemicals, but you'll work up into what you need to do. You start here, you start cleaning these drains or this patch of floor, and then you'll work up to learning how to deal with the beer. First batch that we worked together on, I think, was a Russian Imperial Stout. But me and Jeff worked together on that beer that day. One of us would throw bags of malt into the mill and the other one would go up and stir. We'd go back and forth, and by the end of it, it was like stirring a huge, like thousands of pounds of like semi-hydrated oatmeal, and it was just like speckled with malt and grain, and we were sweaty, and it was just like disgusting by the end of it. I will always remember that being like the first beer that I helped make there. The first year that I was working in the brewery for Great American Beer Festival, Jeff went up there with his wife and a couple of other like investors and everything, and I stayed behind to brew more beer. And the awards ceremony was going on, and they were watching, and I remember hearing like a huge roar from the tap room, and I ran out there, and Jeff Werway was on the phone. He's like, we won like a gold medal for our Elevated, and like the tap room, I think everybody was hugging, all the customers were just ordering Elevated immediately. Like, it was a huge deal to win a big award like that. The real gravity didn't hit me until I actually got to experience Great American Beer Festival for myself. Jeff looked at me and he told me, all right, you've been working really hard. If we win this one, you get to have the medal put on you by Charlie Papazian. They called our name and we all got up and hugged each other and probably jumped for joy and like clicked our heels a couple times and walked up there, and I got to go up first, and Charlie Papazian like put the medal over my head. All of my good friends who I worked with for several years got to share that like moment of glory on stage, which was amazing. I feel like if you look at any job, you're gonna have this idea of what you think it is, and it's always pretty glamorous in your mind. When you look at brewing beer, you probably just see people like smelling hops or just drinking beer all the time, all day, every day. You don't see people sweating and getting covered in nasty, sticky malt or hops or anything. I love beer. I take pride in everything that I do, everything that I try to do, I hope I do it well. Brewing is art, and it is science, and it is a craft, and it is a lot of fun, but it's really hard work at the same time. It's heavy lifting and long hours, and brewing's just that much better because you get to have a beer at the end of the day.